All right, we're back for another episode of Best of Worst of. The King Z selection of the week is not a horror genre, not a sci-fi genre, not a fantasy genre, none of those things. He wanted to do Psych. At first, I thought he was kidding. That was a terrible joke I opened with. But I'm going to run with it. And this is also going to be a mostly silent Winter Wolf edition of Best of Worst of, because I've never seen this show. I'm pretty sure it came out on like the USA Network 1,500 years ago, because I remember seeing commercials for it and remember thinking, wow, this looks really goofy. But it's got us. I was just saying to these guys before we hit record, it reminds me of Scrubs. And after I watched a couple of prep episodes, I really enjoyed it. So I'm happy that King Z picked this one. The best episode, I left my scratch paper way over there, so you're gonna have to correct me on the season and the episode number. But I think the best rated episode, once again, is the finale. And now this is like 3 shows in a row. It's time to change the source. I think we're gonna have to move away from our source and get more into an aggregate of like IMDb and a couple of other places, because this can't be accurate. It can't at this point. It seems very biased.
Of what we do here is we go to episode.ninja and we look at what the fans voted as the best and worst episode of a particular series. We go, we watch it, and then we consider, is this the worst, or and also is it the worst or best? So we're going to start off with the best of right now. And the best of is season 8, episode 10, The Breakup.
Perfect title. That's my input for this episode. Perfect title. I don't know if you guys want to walk folks through, in case there's other people out there like me that didn't see Psych. Maybe just break down what the show is real quick, who the 2 main characters are, and kind of what their gig is. Because I got it totally wrong when you asked me if I wanted to do this episode or this show. I thought it was something completely different.
Do you want to go ahead as our guest today, Oracle?
Sure. Thanks for having me. So Psych is about a guy in Santa Barbara who is very like intuitive and notices a lot of things, and he winds up telling the Santa Barbara Police Department that he's psychic to get out of trouble for something. So then they hire him on as the psychic of the Santa Barbara Police Department, the psychic consultant. So he and his best friend Gus create the Psych business. And it's about their adventures and shenanigans, and him also keeping this secret, because if they found out, then he could go to jail for lying to the police.
Yeah, it wouldn't just be you get fired. It would be you're probably getting locked up for like a million different all kinds of charges.
All those prisoners that they locked up due to his investigation would be set free.
Gone. Right. Dude, the thing I love most about this show right off the rip, because you see where it goes, and you see where it goes quickly, is that you get to a spot where everybody just lets the main character Shawn do his thing while they roll their eyes in the background. Like, oh crap, we got to watch him do this whole effing performance again, where this guy hams it up in the best kind of Zach Braff, JD from Scrubs kind of way, where he's like, oh, Gus, it's happening again. Like, he goes all out in a way that's almost as cringe as the best part of The Office even. And you're like, I have to look away, because if any adult ever acted like this in a room that I was in, I'd slap the shit out of them and be like, dude, stop. I can't. But it's so funny, and they commit to the bit every effing time.
Not including every time he introduces himself. He's Shawn Spencer, psychic detective, and this is my partner, and he just changes his name. And then Gus just goes along with it.
I think I don't know. You guys could tell me what you guys think about Gus as like the accomplished / partner. I'm like, I like that he's got this straight-laced odd couple kind of buddy who's just trying to do his job in advance. Like, he's a pharmaceutical sales rep. Unlike the Climb, you know, like his job never fires him that I've seen. It looks like he's at the same company for 8 seasons or until the very end. I don't know, but like Gus is the quintessential straight man. But he's funny because he has some quirks of his own. He's into the geek stuff. He's into science. He's into like those kind of things. But he's not above the slapstick or the physical comedy when those beats come. So what do you guys think of Gus?
An odd couple relationship is definitely describes them well. He's like very serious and smart, and he has the resources because Shawn does not have a job, a real job, or like
Nothing.
anything. So Gus has a car at least,
and a very impressive credit report from what I heard in episode 1.
Yeah.
But it's really cute because they were best friends like growing up. Like I love all the flashbacks and stuff when you see them as little kids, and their relationship has always been like Gus is generally the smart one, but generally scared and afraid to stand up for himself, and just kind of goes along with what Shawn does, but then helps him get out of things because he loves him and he's his best friend. And yeah.
Good take. King, your take on Gus? Anything to add to Gus?
No, Gus is he's the guy behind the curtain who does a lot of the stuff that Shawn can't do, like steal a bag when he needs him to steal it, or have money,
or drive me somewhere.
Drive me somewhere in the Blueberry. So
the Blueberry. I love that car.
Yeah, Gus is quintessential to the team. Without Gus, there would be no Shawn, and the show would just be completely worthless without them two together. Them two together is what makes the show.
Yeah, it really wouldn't work if he was a solo like PI psychic medium guy by himself, like a Harry Dresden type, like a one-man agency. Like the buddy comedy is a really good kernel that they then built into the relationship with a couple of the cops, with Detective Lassiter, with the interim police chief. I think her name's Karen, I think.
Karen,
and then Lassiter's partner changes after the pilot episode and then becomes Juliet O'Hara for like all 8 seasons. So you have that. So it's a tight cast. There's only like 4 or 5 mains. There are a couple of supporters that come up, like Shawn's dad comes up a lot. I think he's in every episode. That's Corbin Burnson, and he plays into Shawn's upbringing too. Like the Oracle was saying, we get flashbacks to this kid's life, how he kind of always was a screw up, but his dad had taught him to be this intuitive, see all the hats in the room kind of guy, and how this is now parlayed forward, where he actually turns. It's an honest living because he's helping people. Like he's not defrauding the police. Like he's actually contributing to successful arrests. And you got to write off the whole, if anybody ever found out, they'd all be releasing, because it's a sitcom straight up. Like this is not played for real or for physics or for like police procedural, like Law and Order, Criminal Minds or something. It's not that. Not even close. Doesn't pretend to be like at all. Like we were just talking about a character in a later episode, a serial killer that they get out of a mental institution to help them find another serial killer, and then they let her just walk around. Like no, sorry, that never. But it works for the show because it's so stupid goofy.
And also, Shawn has a thing for his criminals. Like if you ever see recurring criminals, like Shawn and them are friends at that point. Like Yang, you saw a little bit in that episode that we'll talk about here in the worst of. They kind of had a relationship, and then there's you didn't get to see him yet, but a Despero. There's like 4 episodes with Despero, and like him and Shawn become friends, and it just kind of that thing.
Yeah, I get the vibe. So let's talk about this episode specific, because it is best of worst of. So it is the breakup, because after 8 long seasons of running his game, Shawn finally decides that he wants to leave it all behind. He wants to move up north, to San Francisco. To where Juliet's been for some amount of time. I don't know. I didn't watch the whole show. I don't know if that was a season 8 thing or if she'd been gone for a while. But the whole point of the episode is he's got to figure out a way to tell Gus that he's leaving. And that only works if you care about these 2 clowns' relationships from grade school into like them being like in their mid 30s or 40s, whatever they are, by the end of the show. So like I can see where all of those payoffs are built into to make it that way. He's so uncomfortable that the recurring gag is every time he tries to tell Gus that he's closing up shop, it's broken up by one of the facts of the case, mirroring that discussion about leaving friends behind or abandoning people or letting go of the past. And it's always then cuts back to him talking to us as the audience, like, I suck at these kind of things. I'm the worst. And then there's a big reveal at the end that he wasn't really talking to us. He was doing something else, but we'll get there. But what did you, this is you guys' show. You guys tell me what you thought of the breakup.
So I have seen every episode, but I forgot this one. So I didn't remember like how he did it or like what happens at the end.
Not the best of. Yeah. Maybe we should just ask you and not go to the internet. We should have just done that.
But it was good. It it was frustrating. I get a little frustrated because he's so. It's like, just do it, and he's like, I don't want to.
That's the
Like,
cringe. That's the cringe.
yes. But it's still it was so sweet and heartwarming at the end, and it's just like, I love these guys and this relationship they have so much, and his relationship with his dad. I think they did a good job of closing the show.
Yeah.
And I think it was really funny how they had Shawn kept trying to like draw it out, and they kept getting thwarted by the new detective who is better than them in figuring out everything right before they do. And that was kind of funny. And
without faking like she's a psychic. That was Mira Sorvino, by the way.
Yeah.
It's nice to see her in something. I haven't seen her in a while.
And all the themes of how nice Gus's office is now. It's not the same job, but he's doing like the same thing. So
right.
Yeah.
What'd you think, King? Is this a best of contender?
It definitely is a best of contender because one, it wraps up all the growth you see Shawn go through from episode 1, season 1 to this episode. He's usually the screw up. He's always emotionally just immature all the way through the whole thing, but that's kind of like the reason why you love him.
Yep.
But this
loser.
It shows like all of his growth, like how he actually is taking his relationship with Jules serious. Because there's a couple other relationships he has throughout the thing, and he doesn't really take them serious. Jules has always been the big picture. Yep. So watching that growth is good, especially his growth with his dad, because him and his dad hated each other in episode 1. Yep. But then as they got to do more stuff together, and then they got to work on certain cases together, they grew closer together. And then at the end, you saw their closure of him leaving. And like, he's actually got to see his son grow up finally. It might took him to his 30s, but he finally got to see his son grow up, and kind of.
The line when he's in the class and he's like, he finally called me. Like,
that was good stuff.
Be part of this.
Yep. I like that. Okay, because he specifically called him not just to like call in a favor to like, an old cop friend, like to literally come save my ass because I'm getting shot at.
Yeah.
Right? It's like on the college road, getting chased, bring gun. I'm like, okay, that works. And I think Corbin Burnson's a retired cop, so like that all checks out. He's back on the beat.
Them on the 2 steering wheel, 2 brake car.
Student driver
just
car.
Curse it. Yeah.
Take the wheel. I got the wheel.
I had the wheel.
Some good stuff. That was Billy Zane. They was chasing them too, wasn't it? Was that Billy Zane?
Yeah,
the bad guy. I recognize Billy Zane. I think the Oracle's right. It closed a number of loops, which I thought was great. The one that I got, and I think this is a great bit of writing, and they obviously developed it over time. Is he sends the goodbye DVD to Lassiter, and he's going to confess that he's not a psychic, and Lassiter shuts it off. So he just leaves it up in the end, and he breaks the disc. I love that. I thought that was awesome. That was the only note I took on the episode. I was like, I got to remember this point that after 8 seasons, they're clearly friends by this season. They put in their paces. I don't know if you're a fraud. I don't know if you're real, but I know I can rely on you. They've probably saved each other from fake comic danger by this point a dozen times over. So Lassiter's your guy. That was a really strong point. Like it mirrored in a lot of ways how it wrapped up with his dad, the other antagonistic relationship today. Because the chief was never really up his butt. Like she was always kind of a sympathetic, oh yeah, I'll hire you. We'll give you a shot. We'll see how you do. Don't sit in my chair. Like that was, she was never outright hostile. That was Lassiter's gig.
Yeah. The other thing I really liked about the finale is one of the minor characters. He's there and around, but McNabb was he's always right around there, and then him getting pulled in to become a detective finally. That was just perfect ending. That's how it should end, with McNabb becoming a detective.
I didn't recognize him until today. I had gone back and watched a couple of extra episodes in season 1. I was like, oh, that was the dude that they promoted at the end with the lowest detective score ever. And last year was like, no, absolutely not. And then Mira Sorvino's character was like, I can make him a new you. And he's like, all right, give that a shot. But no, I think like the other episodes that we've done that are best ofs that are coincidentally finales, I think I understand exactly again why this is rated that high because it does close loops. It does provide closure. It doesn't abandon the tone of the show and get overly weepy. Like even at the end when he's going through that comically long proposal and Gus keeps interrupting and then he keeps going back to talk to Gus and then she's in the background like shrugging her shoulders and rolling her eyes, but then they get robbed. So like the end of the show is them going after somebody that robbed them, getting in the car and go. Like so it ends on their tone. Like it does, it's not like the end of like Return of the King or something, you know. So I like
and it also leaves it open for them if they needed to bring the show back. You had an opening, which that actually opens up for the movies too. So like, and then you had Psych the movie, Psych 2, and then now Psych 3's out with the Gus movie.
This kind of stuff writes itself, but the comedy isn't easy to write itself. I mean, they still had a case of the week. The case in this one was boilerplate, I think, for the show, investigating like a real estate deal with one guy outliving the other two after he murdered one of them or something. Like, I feel like it was Warehouse 13. They threw some story in there at the end, but it's really about wrapping up the loose ends. And I think as long as you pay those off, your fans don't care if it's not the best story of the week. They just want to make sure your guys go out with like the sappy stuff and the happy stuff. Yeah. And it works.
And the show has tons of like guest stars that come in throughout all the seasons. Like John Cena was in an episode. You had Big Show that was in an episode. You had what's his name? Michael C. Hall. He was the police chief for a little while.
An episode I just watched earlier had Kurtwood Smith from That 70s Show and Clarence Boddicker as a cop that was retired, had amnesia, or was starting to get dementia. I mean, he played a pretty good role in that. And then the guy, he's a character actor. He was on Supernatural as Zachariah, like the lead angel. He was also in Rest in Peace, Hulk Hogan. He was in No Holds Barred. He was the bad guy in No Holds Barred, the bald dude that shocks himself at the end. He's the coroner in
Woody.
Psych. I'm like, yeah. Yep. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces here. I'm with that. So I'm excited to watch more of this. Just put it on the background while I'm writing or cleaning up or doing things and looking up every now and again and seeing like an early 2000s face. Like I was saying before the show, the guy that plays Lassiter is another Supernatural alumni. He played Kane. And I was like, I know that guy. I'm going to go back and look this guy up. Any other thoughts on this being the best or the best episode from either of you folks who love the show more than I do at this point, even though I'm a growing fan now?
What show would you nominate as the best of out of all the ones you've seen? Give me one and I'll give one.
Thinking about that earlier, and the Clue episode is really good.
I took mine.
All right, which episode did you guys just say was your mutual favorite? It was Clue?
Clue. Season 6.
It's called 100 Clues, season 7, episode 5.
Oh, that was off.
Okay. So episode.ninja had the runners up in the second and third spots respectively. Our season 7, episode 7, D's Nups with a P. And season 7 must have been a banger. And then season 7, episode 11, Office Space, were the next two on the best of.
I think D's Nups would not have been a good best. It's way dramatic. It's like a sliding door type episode because like Juliet finds something that leads her to wonder if Shawn is who he says he is or not, and they're in a relationship at that point. So it's like a sliding door episode, as in one is where she doesn't find the information, the other is where she does, and it goes back and forth.
That's wild. Okay. Interesting. I could see them going with a gimmick like that though. I can see why people might like that.
Yeah, the writing on this is just spectacular because it just ties in so well. Like you never see like a real misstep, like in the writing to keep it fresh. And then like even the theme song changes sometimes when it's like a certain like the Christmas episode. It's like it's the same song, but it's more like it's more Christmassy,
more jingly.
It's more jingly.
And there's one where Shawn ends up on a telenovela, and so they do the theme song in Spanish.
Right, that's good for us guys on the best episode of Psych. Go check it out. It's on Peacock. You can watch all 8 seasons, 2 made-for-TV movies, and spin-off mini series or whatever the hell they got. They got a lot of stuff. The whole cast is pretty effing funny. It won't be a waste of your time if you're into shows like Scrubs, and I think maybe Curb Your Enthusiasm, not Curb Your Enthusiasm, Modern Family has a similar vibe, I think. So if you like those kind of shows, you'll probably like this one. And folks, why don't you guys take the lead and get us out of here?
Close us out.
She doesn't know what that means.
Just like end it. Like I don't know what to say. This is gonna have to be cut.
Now we're using that. Everybody bang your head on the video.